Hello, family. This is RC Blakes, and I am so thoroughly excited. I'm excited because Queenology 2024 is coming back to Atlanta, Georgia, August the 23rd through the 25th. The host hotel is going to be the Whitley Hotel. Amazing. Women are literally coming from around the world. It is a multicultural, multi-generational, multiracial movement of women from around the world. And I want to invite you and yours to meet Lisa and I in Atlanta, Georgia at the Whitley Hotel, August the 23rd through the 25th for Queenology. For those that have the Royal Court package, it will afford you your entire stay for the weekend. It will also afford you a private, formal dinner with Lisa and I to open Queenology up. It also affords you admission to every event, everything that's happening for the entire weekend. Now, we also have the Saturday brunch and intensive package, which allows you to get into the brunch where Lisa and I will be sharing the messages that God has given us for 2024 to share with the ladies. This year, I'll have my own message, and Lisa will also have her very own message. It's going to be powerful. During the Saturday brunch and intensive, we're also going to have a very distinguished panel of men that are going to sit before the queens and answer the questions that women have always wanted to ask men. It's going to be amazing. Now, also those that are part of the VIP experience, there will be a time where Lisa and the ladies will gather in what they call, I think, the pajama party. And it will be a time where women will have conversation among women. I'm really excited about the culmination of Queenology this year because none other than the incomparable Dave Hollister is coming to be a part of our closing event, the all-white party. He's going to sing the Queenology theme song as well as entertain the ladies, the queens, for that evening. Queenology 2024 promises to be like none other. Those of you that want information, if you desire to be a vendor, queenology.net. Those of you that may need payment plans, queenology.net. Let nothing stop you from making your way to Queenology 2024 in Atlanta, Georgia this year. Tickets are going very quickly. I would love for you to meet us in Atlanta, August the 23rd through the 25th. Queens from around the world are coming. Queens from around the world are rising. It is going to be a coronation. It is going to be a crowning.
Hello and welcome to Let's Talk with Bishop R.C. Blakes. R.C. is an author, empowerment teacher, and the proud pastor of the New Home Ministries of New Orleans, Louisiana, and Houston, Texas. His message circles the globe. His conversational and candid approach to challenging content makes him a relevant voice to all generations. Get ready for a life-changing transformational conversation.
Well, hello. This is R.C. Blakes, and I am so excited today to be able to come back and share with you once again on this Monday night. If you're watching this in real time, this is Let's Talk with R.C. Blakes on Monday night. I am still in my final day or two overseas back in Cairo, but I wanted to come to you tonight and to discuss something that I think is going to be an amazing eye-opener. I think it's going to be something that's going to really spark a lot of thought, probably a lot of conversation, a lot of what I like, and that is internal dialogue, where you're going to really have to probably question yourself and interrogate yourself relative to how you're moving in terms of your relationships. Now, before we get into all of that, please, 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 please invite some others to come in and to be a part of this conversation tonight. And before I get into all of that, I got to say this to all of you from both groups that traveled across the world to share with Lisa and I in Egypt. We do not take it lightly, and we absolutely loved the opportunity to meet you up close and in person, to spend those days with you, to be able to sit and have intimate conversations with you, to get to know you, to pray with you, to just bond with you, and not just know that you're on the other side of a camera, but now you're a part of our lives in a very tangible way, and you're part of a memory that I will have until I close my eyes. I don't take it lightly. I was so honored that you trusted us enough to make such a massive investment and to, take the journey. For many of you, it was your first time traveling abroad, but you did it, you said, because we called for you and you trusted us. One lady, it was actually her first time ever flying. Can you imagine that? First time ever flying, and you choose to fly all the way to Africa, to Egypt. We don't take any of that lightly, and we love you, we love you, we love you, we love you. And just excited, looking forward to Queenology, to be able to meet many of you again in Atlanta. But to our subject for tonight, I want to talk about the hidden messages of your relationship choices. What are your relationship choices really telling you about you? Because when the world sees you with the person that you've chosen, the world sees something, really many things that are significant about you. Now, here's the irony. You can look at someone else and you can look at the relational choices they're making, and you can conclude certain things about them based on the person they're with. But when it comes to you, you can't see clearly many times what your relational choices are saying about you. It's like the person that looks out of his or her window and criticizes his or her neighbor's gutters or paint job or lawn care or lack thereof, but cannot see the fact that the house they're living in, the gutters are completely blown off, and that the paint is peeling, and that the garden is overrun with weeds. It's because it's easier to look through a window at someone else. The reality is we need to step outside of ourselves, and we need to look back at ourselves, and we need to be objectively, constructively critical of ourselves and our relational choices are screaming certain things at us that we need to be aware of. First of all, had you ever thought about that? That your relationship choices are telling you something about you? I think every conscious person has to come to a point where you have some kind of personal process to psychoanalyze yourself. Not that you have the skills of a real psychoanalyst, but you do live with yourself 24/7. And if you pay attention to yourself, there are many things you can learn about yourself if you just pay attention to yourself. Every person needs to have a personal process whereby you regularly step outside of yourself, look back at yourself, and you ponder. And when you look at the relationship choices you're making, they are telling you something about you. Now, this is not one of my points, but I'll bring it up since it's, something that I really feel strongly about. Those of you that are married to the idea of you want your type and nothing else, well, that tells you that you're, I know I'm going to get in trouble, make some enemies with this, but you'll be all right. That tells you that you're still childish. That tells you that you're still childish because if you've not evolved, if you're a woman, especially a woman, because women usually saying this, if you're a woman of 30 years old, 40 years old, 50 years old, 60 years old, still around here talking this type stuff, that tells me that you've not learned the lessons that your type should have taught you by now. Because you've gotten your type any number of times. And how did it end? That means you've gone through it, but you didn't grow through it. You learned nothing from the harsh experience. If you're still around here 40 years old talking about he got to be a certain type, that tells me that you're childish. That tells me that you're growing in years. You're probably growing in demeanor, but you're not growing emotionally. You're not growing psychologically. You're not growing spiritually. Now, granted, I'm not saying that anybody should, have a relationship with somebody that you think looks like a monster and you're scared to wake up to. That's not what I'm saying at all. But what I am saying is you cannot be out here living your life purely from a place of type, making all of your relational decisions based on type. If your type is, if you rate your type from 1 to 10, you know, you may find a man that's a 5 in terms of the aesthetics, the superficials, but he's a 10 in terms of the character, the heart, and the capacity to make for a husband and a safe man. Well, if you're a wise woman that's growing, and if you're maturing, you'd rather all day long a man that's a 5 in terms of the superficials and a 10 in terms of the character and the things that are going to be enduring. But if you're still a childish woman, you'd throw a man away that's a 10, that's a true husband, for a man that's a 8, or a 9 in terms of look, but a 2 in character. And then you wonder why you keep getting the same outcomes. You ain't learning nothing. And then you want to get, onto the platforms and you want to say all men are dogs. No, babe, you just a dog catcher. You just a dog catcher because you're not growing and all you're searching for are dogs. When you search for something, that's what you find. And you keep ending up with it because that's what you're searching for. You have not learned anything about what your relational choices are constantly teaching you. And maybe that should have been one of my numbers, but it wasn't. But I got it in anyway. But relationship choices are a mirror of your internal condition. Relationship choices are a mirror of your internal condition. What are your relationship choices telling you about yourself. I met a dear heart, I won't call any names, very successful businesswoman who was here with us in Egypt. And she talked about how she was in Egypt with us, but this was supposed to be her honeymoon. But then she really started paying attention, and she realized that the man she was trying to force a marriage with was not a husband. And so she made a decision to let that go, and she married self-discovery. And she said, now I'm the happiest I've been in my life. Come on now. So what are your relationship choices telling you about yourself? Because if you show me who you're with, I can tell you where you are. And more specifically, I can tell you where you're going. Just show me your man, show me your woman. I can tell you, show me who you're with. I can tell you where you are between the ears spiritually. And more importantly, I can tell you where you're going. Because our relationship choices are a mirror of what our internal condition really is. See, you keep showing up with a man that's, got the slick hair. Nothing wrong with slick hair. I got some good men with slick hair, and I ain't hating because I ain't got none. Maybe a little bit I am. But you keep showing up with a man with slick hair, face greased up and chest all greased up and everything. And, we can look in this man's eyes and tell this man ain't faithful. He ain't faithful to his mama. And there you running around with him about, this my man. This my man. We know where you at. You still stuck in a place of adolescent, pubescent foolishness. And you have not grown. And you still have, I can tell you where you're going. You still have massive heartbreak you got to go through again. And hopefully you'll learn this time. But in a lot of cases, people don't. I can tell you where you are. I can tell you where you're going. Well, now, number one, I think I have like six. What do I have? Six. I have 7 points that I'll make, and I'm going to try to be briefer than normal. But I don't think so. Your relationship choices or choice is a direct reflection of your own intelligence. And I pause because I need you to hear that. I want you to realize I actually said that. And I need you to think about it. The person you rolling around in the middle of the bed with, that's for Lisa, who's laughing about me always talking about the middle of the bed. You rolling around in the middle of the bed with somebody is a direct reflection of your own intelligence. I hear brothers say all the time, this woman can't think her way out of a wet paper bag, but yet you got her on your arm. What does that tell you about you? You got a man you consider to be stupid, but yet you laying in the middle of the bed giving him your body. What does that tell you about you? Your relationship choices are a direct reflection of your own intelligence. Our choice of partner is a direct reflection of our own intelligence. See, what happens is many times you are making, especially women, you are making relational decisions from a place of emotion. Because the world says, oh, you're a certain age, you need to get desperate, you need to hurry up and give it away, because after all, you this old and you need to settle. And so you're making relational decisions out of your emotions, not your intellect nor your spirit. So you're not thinking nor are you discerning. And your emotions get you tied up, create a soul tie, get you caught up in a situationship that you don't know how to work your way out of. And then you sit back and you look at it and you realize this man is a complete dummy. He's an imbecile. He may be a nice guy, but he's a dummy. He does nothing for me intellectually. He does nothing for me spiritually. And as a consequence, because he's such a dummy, I'm not even turned on to him sexually. But yet I'm tied up in a situation I can't get out of. Your relational choice is a direct reflection on your own intelligence. The intellect of our chosen partner often mirrors our intellectual pursuits and interests. When we select a partner who values learning and curiosity, it reflects our own appreciation for intellectual growth. Conversely, if we choose someone who isn't intellectually stimulating, it might indicate a lack of emphasis on intellectual compatibility in our own values. Do you not know, and this is very true, while most people are completely unaware of this wisdom, you can have a person that you may not be so attracted to physically, but because you're mature, you engage them intellectually, you engage them spiritually, and you begin to learn how beautiful their soul is, and you begin to learn how deep they are, and you begin to learn how compatible you all are intellectually and spiritually. And that intellectual beauty, that intellectual and spiritual compatibility creates a greater sexual attraction than the physical, visible, sensual ever could. Now, you ain't got to believe me. Just keep doing what you're doing. Keep getting the same outcomes you're getting. But your relational choice is a reflection of your intelligence. So when I hear brothers say, this is a stupid woman, I look at you because you chose her. This is a stupid man. I look at you because you chose him. And you laying down in the bed, having sex with him, potentially getting ready to bring some of his stupid children into the world. That's what you're doing. You say the man is stupid, you're going to lay in the bed and you're going to procreate with a man that's stupid? His gene pool, you can ready to bring it back into the world. So what does that make you? If a stupid man got you in the middle of the bed, running the risk of reproducing him again, if he's stupid, what does that make you? He's smart enough to get you in a compromised position because your relationship choices are a direct reflection of your own intelligence. Here's a quote by a brother by the name of Antoine de Saint, I don't know how to pronounce that last name, Exupéry, I suppose you would say. And it says this: tell me who admires and loves you, and I will tell you who you are. Show me your man, show me your woman, and I can tell you who you are. The Bible puts it this way in Proverbs 18:15. The heart of the discerning acquires knowledge, for the ears of the wise seek it out. The ears of the wise seek it out. The heart of the discerning acquires knowledge. When you are in relational pursuit, you're looking for more than thighs and eyes and lips and hips. You're looking for more than hair and cologne and 6 feet and 6 figures. You see, it is our pursuit of wisdom and knowledge that is often mirrored in the partners we choose, reflecting the value we place on intellectual and spiritual values or spiritual intellectual capacity. Listen to what Proverbs 13:20 says. He that walketh with wise men shall be wise, but a companion of fools shall be destroyed. So who you with, Bernie Mac would say. Show me who you with. And I can tell you who you are. I can tell you where you're going. Some of y'all, absolutely nowhere. And you got your type. You got your type. Rock with it, roll with it, baby. You got your type. You don't want your kind. You want your type. So go and roll with that. Yeah, keep on arguing with me. Keep on fussing with me. I'm going to check back with you in a decade. See, because in a decade, your type ain't going to even be your type. But if you had your kind becomes more your kind the older y'all get. Lisa and I started off in our 20s. I'll be 60 in a few days. And she's more my kind now than she was when we were in our 20s. But what do I know? I've only been married 30 years in October. What do I know about relationship? Nothing. Don't listen to me. Number two, what are your relationship choices telling you about you? It's telling you if you have self-love or not. It's telling you if you have self-love or not. What you tolerate in a relationship tells you if you have self-love or not. When a person has self-love, they have boundaries, standards, and limits. Let me put it to you this way. This usually helps people to get it. The stuff you tolerate from a person that you are in a soul tie with, because this ain't love. The abuse, the humiliation, and all of the stuff you're tolerating from this person, if they did the same thing to your mama, or if they did the same thing to your child, you'd come all the way out of character and you'd be ready to go to jail. But when it comes down to you, you accept it and you tolerate it because you don't love yourself. Because anything you love, you protect. And when you just sit and you camp out in abusive relationships, there's a lack of self-love. If you are constantly choosing people who shame and humiliate you, it is a reflection on your subconscious self-love deficiency. You don't love yourself. Self-love is the ability to separate from anything that does not serve. See, if you're so tied up with somebody that you can't separate when they're not good for you, when they're outright, downright, blatantly toxic, you don't love yourself. Because self-love is the ability to separate from anything that does not serve me. Okay, as much as I love Lisa, and everybody know I love Lisa because that's all I talk about is Lisa. Lisa, Lisa, Lisa. Some people actually get tired of me talking about Lisa, but you're just going to be tired because that's my wife, and I'm going to talk about my wife. You just go watch somebody else, then you don't hear me talk about my wife. Go watch somebody else. I'm going to talk about my wife. Like every other man should talk about his wife. But as much as I love Lisa, if Lisa made up her mind that, she had some crisis and she won't try to go out here and find her another little man and she won't do a little cheating, first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to get a little video evidence so y'all can know it wasn't me. That's the first thing I'm going to do. I'm going to get me some video evidence. Before I have any emotional reaction, I'm going to get that video evidence. Yeah. And I'm going to play it for y'all so y'all can see. I'm going to create a little private Zoom for my community so y'all can see Lisa went out here and cheated on me. Next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to let her, she can have a house. I'm going to go get me another place. But I'm getting away from her. Because self-love is the ability to separate from anything that does not serve you well. It's the ability to separate from anything that clearly does not value you or want you. If you're stuck up in a situation right now with somebody that does not value you and basically telling you they don't want you, you struggling with a lack of self-love. That's what your relational choice is telling you about you. I love the way Jesus puts this in principle in Matthew 5:29 and 30. He says, "And if thy right eye offend thee, pluck it out, cast it from thee, for it is profitable for thee that one of thy members should perish, and not that thy whole body should be cast into hell. And if thy right hand offend thee, cut it off and cast it from thee. For it is profitable for thee that one of thy members should perish, and not that thy whole body should be cast into hell. What is the point? Sometimes you got to lose some things to save yourself. You got to lose some things to save the whole. And if you don't love yourself, you will find yourself sacrificing your whole self because of your pursuit of someone else. That's a lack of self-love. That's what your relational choice is telling you about you. You have a lack of self-love. And then you say, okay, well, I'm gonna get rid of them. I'm gonna get rid of them. Well, yeah, and you should. In a lot of cases, when you got a person that's doing you that kind of damage, you should get rid of them. But you know what? A lot of you get rid of them, and before you tell them it's over, you already out in the street searching for another one just like that one. So you like Beyonce. I can have another you in a minute. In fact, he'll be here in a minute. So it means that in that song, she ain't learned nothing from that situation. You must not know about me. I can have another you in a minute. In fact, he'll be here in a minute. Meaning, I'm getting rid of one and exchanging one for another one of the same kind. That's broken consciousness, baby. All day long. But there's a lack of what? Self-love. And that's what your relational choice is telling you about you. You lack self-love. And then there's number 3. Your relational choices are telling you that you have low self-esteem or high self-esteem, depending on how you've chosen. The person we choose is a mirror of our own view of our viability and our value. Your choice, listen to this carefully, your choice never rises above your honest thoughts about your worthiness. In fact, about it, if somebody that approaches you and is interested in you, that's above your perceived worthiness within yourself, you will sabotage it. That's why many of you never attract husbands. It's because internally your settings say, I'm not a wife, I don't deserve a husband. And so when husbands show up, you think it's a lack of attraction. What it really is, it is your empty soul rejecting what you think is too good for you. That's why you can make statements like, oh, he was such a nice guy. He was such a good guy. He treated me like a queen, and he did this and he did that, and he was so polite and he was so honest. But I don't know, it was just something. It wasn't nothing about him, babe. It's something about you. It wasn't nothing about that man. It's something about you. You got low self-esteem. And a man that treats you like a queen is not comfortable for you. You rather a man hitting you on your bottom and calling you out your name and pulling you by your hair and treating you like somebody off the street for hire. It is a reflection of your personal self-esteem. The self-esteem we hold within our own conscious and subconscious mind influences the partners we attract and choose. Those with high self-esteem tend to choose partners who respect and value them. You know why they tend to choose partners? One of the reasons they tend to choose partners who respect and value them, they ain't gonna settle for nothing less. You know why you tend to choose partners who don't value and respect you? You settle for that. Whereas low self-esteem can lead to choosing partners who reinforce negative self-beliefs. Low self-esteem causes chronic settling. You just settle. You just, well, everything ain't going to be perfect. No, it ain't going to be perfect, but there's a certain standard. It's got to be right. It's got to be right. Because let me let y'all in on a secret. You can be happy all by yourself. You ain't got to have no man to be happy. You ain't got to have no woman to be happy. That's a broken consciousness concept right there. You can be happy all by yourself. You ain't got to just have nobody just settling because you think you want somebody on your arm. You can be happy all by yourself. You ain't got to settle, but you don't realize you don't have to settle until you have high self-esteem. So you keep settling and you keep accepting these relationships that are, below par because of your low self-esteem. That's what it's telling you about you. Stephen Chopsky, I suppose it's pronounced, says this: we accept the love we think we deserve. We accept the love we think we deserve. And you know what else now? And I kind of mentioned this, but I'll drive it home for you now. When you have low self-esteem and you only have a certain level, let's say you have a level 3 self-love concept. When somebody steps into your life and they try to love you more than a 3, you will always sabotage it. You cannot be comfortable with anybody that loves you above your subconscious setting. So if your internal setting of self-love is 3, you will never be comfortable with a man that will bring you to a 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, or 10. So when you're choosing a partner, you really need to figure out what is their self-love marker, because they ain't gonna let you love them beyond that. Now, that's a lot of wisdom. I don't know if y'all realize it, but that's a lot of wisdom I just dropped on you there. Genesis 1:27 says, so God created mankind in his own image. In the image of God created he them, and male and female he created them. So we are all in the image and likeness of God. And recognizing our inherent value as beings created in God's image can profoundly affect our relationship choices. I'm not valuable because of how much height I have or how much money I have in the bank as a man. I'm not valued because of how many muscles I can flex. A woman is not valuable because of what her size is or what her race is or what her eyes or her hair or her shape looks like. We are valuable because we are the likeness and the image of God. And when you understand that and you begin to develop your self-esteem from the perspective of, I am the image of God, it profoundly affects our relationship choices, encouraging healthier dynamics. You don't settle. Because no relationship should commence for the need of self-worth. And that's why most folk want and are desperate for a relationship. It's because they feel the relationship is going to make them worthy or valuable. If you don't know you're worthy or valuable before you start, you don't need to try to get into a relationship, because you're only going to hurt someone, or you're going to be manipulated and used by a predator. You need to stay at your house. And you need to go to a counselor. You need to find yourself a good Bible teaching church. You need a great circle of friends that's going to be honest with you. And you need to do your self work before you go out here trying to do relationships, thinking that a relationship is going to make you of worth and value. But you were of worth and value before you exited your mother's womb. The fourth thing that your relationship choices are telling you and everybody else is your future vision. I know if you're going somewhere based on the person you're with. And a lot of y'all, I can tell you ain't going nowhere. You satisfied right where you are. I can tell by the person you got. You wouldn't chose a person that ain't nothing but a whole lot of dead weight. You can't climb no mountain with no bunch of dead weight. You satisfied right in this valley, at the foot of the mountain. You ain't going nowhere. You good right here. I can tell where you're going, your future vision, based on who you choose to rock with. When I chose Lisa to be my wife, it wasn't only based out of the fact that I was attracted to her. When I told her that I didn't think I wanted to be married, I was attracted to her, but I was evolving as a man, and I realized that sexual attraction was not enough to make for a complete and whole life. It wasn't only because, I loved her and she's a beautiful person. It was because I knew that Lisa would fit my future. I knew where I was going, and I knew that Lisa and her gifts and all that God put within her, her brilliance, was the perfect fit for my future. The person you choose is directly linked to the vision you have in mind. What's your vision? Now show me your man. Show me your woman. You can't tell me as a man you got a vision of being a king and you're going to build out a kingdom and you got a woman that got all this grease on her lips and just popping gum and walking around here with all these tight clothes on just all the time, just every day. You're trying to have a conversation with it. All she can say, oh my God. No, no, no. You try to ask her a question, she don't have no response. She has no opinion. Where you going, bro? You show me your woman, I show you I can tell you your future, your vision. Show me your man, I can tell you your vision. Our life goals and future aspirations play a significant role in partner selection. When we choose someone whose vision aligns with ours, it reflects a clarity of purpose and mutual support for future ambitions. When you choose someone who does not align with where you say you want to go, it is a massive contradiction and full of confusion. Amos 3:3 says, "Can two walk together except they be agreed?" How we going together and we don't even know if we're going to the same place? Do you have the capacity to go where I'm trying to go? I'm trying to climb that mountain. Can you do that? I mean, you look good and all, you sexy and everything, but I'm trying to climb that mountain. Can you climb that mountain? Huh? Is your cardiovascular? Is your muscular, on point to climb that mountain with me? And then we got to come back down. Can you do that? I don't even want to climb no mountain. I don't even want to climb no mountain. Show me your mate. Show me your partner. And I can tell you your future vision, where you plan on going. Jeremiah 29:11 says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans for welfare and not for evil, to give you a future and a hope." King James says an expected end. So our relationship choices often reflect our trust and confidence and faith and even alignment with the future God has planned for us. See, God can plan all of this stuff for you, but if you saddle yourself with a bottom feeder, if you saddle yourself with a valley dweller, it doesn't matter that God has a plan for you to hit the mountain peak. If you saddle yourself with a valley dweller, that's pretty much where you're going to be. Y'all got to stop making all these relational choices based on sex and all of this kind of stuff, man. You're going to have children with this person. Your financial situation going to be tied up with this person. Your future self going to be tied up with this person. Your retirement going to be tied up with this person. You got to look at this person for the next 30, 40, 50, 60 years if you're really blessed to live that long. So when you start choosing a partner, you need to be thinking about where am I going? Do I want to climb that mountain? I do. I want to get to that mountain peak. Yeah, you sexy. Oh yeah, you fine. You're fine, 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 fine. But can you see that mountain? Can you climb that mountain? I ain't got no interest in climbing no mountain. I ain't got no interest in climbing that mountain. And you date another one. You say, now look, you good looking. Yeah, you good looking. But I want to know, can you climb that mountain? Babe, I can climb that. I've climbed that mountain 5 times already. I can show you how to climb that mountain. That's what you ought to be working with as a woman. But instead, y'all get the one that say, I ain't even climbing no mountain, and you think you're gonna change him. You think you're gonna change. I'm gonna help you work out, and I'm gonna convince you that climbing the mountain is good, and I'm gonna change you. You and him gonna be sitting right there at the bottom of that mountain when you gray and your grandchildren running around climbing that mountain, and you sitting there talking about shoulda, woulda, coulda, and now you sitting there with somebody you've been saddled with, and now you're resentful because you say he wasted your life. You wasted your own life when you sat there and you chose someone that you knew did not have the capacity to go to where you ultimately wanted to go. And you made a decision out of your broken consciousness to sit there and think you can change the fundamental constitution of a person. A person is either a mountain climber or they're not. Number 5. I only have 7. Number 5. Your relational choices. What are your choices in relationships telling you? It's telling you if you're emotionally mature or not. It's telling you if you're emotionally mature or not. Your choice in a partner is telling you how emotionally mature or not you are. Emotional maturity is self-awareness and self-acceptance, watch this, of the truth of those you encounter. It is being aware of your truth, who you are, where you're going, and it is also acceptance of the truth of the person you're dealing with, not fabricating something around them to create a narrative that fits into what you ideally would like to be the case. It is or it isn't. That is emotional maturity, knowing when to move on from a thing because it's not for you. Emotional maturity in relationships is about understanding, managing, and expressing our emotions healthily. Our choice of partner can reveal our level of emotional maturity, as emotionally mature individuals tend to seek out partners who can engage in emotionally healthy ways. You can even have a conversation with this person. If this person is constantly triggering you and they seem to be clueless, what's worse is if they are aware, but in either case, when you are emotionally mature, you know that this is not your person. Emotional maturity, this is a quote, I don't know who it's by, but it states this: emotional maturity is when you realize that no one is responsible for your happiness but yourself. So you enter into a relationship being happy. Now, people can't make you happy, but they can certainly make you miserable. You enter into a relationship being happy, and if a person does not feel that happiness, support that happiness, that's a better word, but rather, subtracts from it, emotionally healthy people move on because that's not your person. 1 Corinthians 13:11 says, when I was a child, I talked like a child, I thought like a child, I reasoned like a child. But when I became a man, I put away childhood behind me. I put the ways of childhood behind me. So here, Paul, this passage underscores the importance of emotional growth and maturity, which is reflected in our relationship choices. You shouldn't be 40 years old thinking and behaving like a child. You should be more emotionally mature. Now, here's the bottom line, since you're acting like you don't understand what I'm saying to you right now. When you are emotionally mature, people can't play mind games any longer. If you still got people out here playing mind games on you at 40 years old, you become emotionally mature. You know how to block, delete, do all of that. You know how to separate, move on. You learn how to discern and recognize red flags when they're on fire and flapping in the wind, and you learn to move on. If people still out here playing these mind games on you, you are emotionally immature. And that's what your relational choice is telling you. Number 6, your relational choices are telling you what your dominant energy is. Now, let me read this for the sake of clarity. Your choice reveals if you are in your feminine or masculine energy dominantly. See, a masculine man is going to choose a feminine woman, or at least a woman that knows how to function in her feminine in terms of her relationship with him. Because men and women both possess masculine and feminine, but a male is his dominant energy is supposed to be masculine. And a female, her dominant energy is supposed to be feminine. But females can function in masculine and males can function in feminine. Well, let me give you remember, I'm no mental health professional, right? So I'm no authority on this, but this is just some of my understanding. Feminine energy equals submissive, nurturing, soft, supportive, and calming. Just a few descriptions of what feminine energy looks like. Masculine energy looks like this: leadership, assertive nature, protective, provisional, logical, and stern. Now, again, women can operate in masculine, men can operate in feminine, but the dominant energy of a man should be masculine. The dominant energy of a woman should be feminine. Now, when does a woman need masculine? When she goes to her job, when she goes to her business, when she's taking care of business, she puts on that leadership, that assertive, that kind of masculine thing, right? But when she comes home and she's dealing with a masculine man, if that's the kind she chose, she turns on the feminine. Well, you can tell what energy is dominant in your life by the person you chose. See, like if you're a woman, you got a little man that don't want a job, don't want to make decisions. He always, asking you what to do, what to do. That's a feminine man. That means your dominant energy is masculine because you keep choosing little feminine men. If you're a man and you choose a woman that makes all of the decisions and you good with that, and she make all the money and you don't want no job, you a feminine man. I don't care how many muscles you got. You a feminine man. That's your dominant energy. Now, if that kind of arrangement works for y'all, great. Right? Yeah. Great. You can tell what your dominant energy is by the people you are attracted to. So your choice of partner can reveal which energy you are most aligned with and which you seek to balance. Like in our relationship, Lisa carries a lot of masculine energy, right? I am a masculine man. But because I'm a masculine man, doesn't mean that I always have to run the show. I have a woman that knows how to handle business. She's a negotiator, whereas I'm not. I'm the kind of person, I just won't give me what I want. Well, Lisa gonna come in and she gonna negotiate. No, we ain't paying that for it. You got to give me a better deal than this. And you know what I do? I slide on out the way because these two energies can, support one another, but dominantly, I'm a masculine man. Dominantly, she's a feminine woman that has to work in her masculine a lot because of the assignments and the role that she has to play in the family and even sometimes in the ministry. But she knows how to nurture, she knows how to support, she knows how to be a boss, but she also knows how to follow her man. It tells you your relational choice will tell you what energy you are predominantly walking in. Here's a quote: masculine and feminine energies are like the two wings of a bird. Both are needed for the bird to fly. You just got to figure out what wing you are. Now listen to what Genesis 1:27-28 says. So God created man in his own image. Image of God created he him. Male and female created he them, and God blessed them and said, be fruitful and multiply, replenish the earth, subdue it, so forth and so on. So God created masculine and feminine when he created male and female. Now, when there is harmony or balance between masculine and feminine, there's fruitfulness. God blessed them and God said unto them, be fruitful. When the masculine and the feminine harmonize, there's fruitfulness and multiplication. And so when you look at the kind of person that you are constantly attracted to, that is a reflection of the energy you sit in. Because a feminine woman is going to always be turned off by a feminine man. A feminine man is going to always view a feminine woman as high maintenance, wanting too much. You know, like the argument, let me just get in some trouble here. The argument that they have all over social media about, 50-50 and women, women don't deserve all of this kind of money and all that. But that argument is generally had, maybe not exclusively, but generally it's had by men that don't even have money. Because men that have money, they attain that money because they wanted the means and the resources to be able to take care of a feminine woman. So when you hear a man out here arguing about money, that's usually a feminine argument. That's a feminine man's argument. Because a masculine man prides himself in being able to take care of his woman, take care of his family. Okay, that's enough trouble for the day. But you get a chance to figure out what your relationship choice is telling you. If you're choosing, if you're a man and you're choosing a masculine woman that wants to call the shots and tell that's telling you that you're sitting in your feminine. Because a masculine man, he ain't gonna have no woman just around here telling him what to do all day. Mm-mm. No, 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 no. It's just not gonna happen. It's just not gonna happen. He's not gonna have no woman telling him sit down, shut up, and when to move. He not gonna be around there holding his hand out for an allowance. Okay, let me leave that alone. Number 7, and finally, your relationship choices. What are they telling you about you? It's telling you finally of what God's place is in your life. Because when you make decisions about a relationship that disagree with the Creator's outline of what is proper, it means that you have deified a person, and or you have made marriage or relationship an idol. Because if a relationship cannot function within the parameters of what God's word outlines, you have put that relationship above God. So it's letting you know that you have stepped out of line, out of sync with God. Now you don't need to be confused about why your outcomes may be as horrific as they're going to be. So these are some of the thoughts that I had about this subject. Hopefully it ministers, hopefully it resonates, and hopefully it helps. May I pray for you? Father, there's so many that are making decisions about relationships. And my prayer, God, is that you will take some of the things that I've said and expand on it with revelation by the Holy Spirit and give them profound clarity, give them understanding, and give them peace. God, let them reconcile within themselves their own value in you, that they might be able, dear God, to navigate this world with all kinds of rhetoric and ideas and lies, that they might be able to navigate it from a place of soundness and a place of worth, because it is in you that we live, move, and have our being. Our value, our worth comes from you. Make them understand that. And God, I thank you that there will be no desperation for a partner, but you will raise up partners for this generation, especially for these women. You will raise up partners for great men, God. You will raise up great women that are wives. And I speak these blessings in Jesus' name. Amen, amen, amen. Listen, I love you. I am so honored. Again, to all of you that spent this time with me in Egypt during the month of June, I love y'all for it. Looking forward to seeing you in August at Queenology. Looking forward to seeing you all at my birthday party in a few weeks at the Ritz-Carlton in New Orleans. The one in Houston has been canceled, but the one in New Orleans is full steam ahead. It's black tie. If you got a tuxedo, I want you to break it out. Your boy turning 60 years old. Go to RCBLAKES.com, pick up tickets for that, and get on my mailing list. RCBLAKES.com, sign up for the mailing list. Check out all of my online programs. Look into the Transcending the Father Wound program. It is going to be a blessing to those of you who have struggled because you didn't have fathers, male or female. This program is for. Look into that program. It is going to be a blessing to you. Thanks to all of you who've sown into our lives. Lisa and I love you with all of our hearts. Amazon is the place to check out all of my books. In fact, about it, I'm dropping the third, I would consider this the third installment of the books that I've written to the empowerment of women. Number one would be the Father-Daughter Talk. Number two is Queenology. This third one is dropping at Queenology in August. And presently it's entitled, if I don't change it, The Training for Reigning. The training for everything you need to know to reign as a queen in the earth today. It's powerful. Put all three of them together. It's an amazing assortment of revelation that God gave me for this generation of women. But right now you can go to Amazon and pick up all of my books. And if you don't have a ticket for Queenology, go to queenology.net and get your ticket today for the Saturday brunch and intensive. It's going to be packed. And the all-white party featuring Dave Hollister is going to be singing our Queenology theme song. Man, we're raising royal consciousness around the world, and the royal conscious community is growing. It's growing. Even here in Egypt today, we're meeting some of our partners that live here and wanted to meet Lisa and I. The community is growing around the world, and I'm excited to have you as a part of it. Now, am I missing anything? Those of you that need counseling, I want you to go into the description and find the link for BetterHelp Counseling. And if you decide to use BetterHelp Counseling, it will afford you 10% off of the cost of their counseling, and they in turn will make a deposit into R.C. Blake's Ministries for my encouraging you to use them. Now listen, I love you. I'm on my way home, excited about getting back home. Been away just basically a month. Excited to get back home, excited to get back to my churches, excited to get back to my neighborhood, my house, my community, my people. I'm just excited. But I love you, and remember this, you are on top and you're going higher. God has more in store for you, so we will see you at the top. God bless you. Until next time.
We here at RC Blakes Ministries want to thank you for spending this time with us today. RC and Lisa are always honored to have you with us. Don't forget to reach out to us by visiting our website at www.rcblakes.com. While you're there, you may join our mailing list and receive a free download of The Laws of Manifesting Your Vision by RC Blakes. Also look at all of the online programs by RC. You may find all books written by RC and Lisa. Once again, all of us here at RC Blakes Ministries want to thank you from the bottom of our hearts. And as we always say, see you at the top.
My queen, my queen. Oh, she. Beautiful, wonderfully made. She's heaven's angel. So strong, even in struggle, yeah. When life comes like a storm from every angle, she rises above it all, the backbone of every home. Nothing compares to all she do. The true meaning of every family. She's the glue. Where would we be without you? You brought us Martin, Malcolm, and Obama, yeah, and Jesus too. Oh, she's sophisticated, strong, simply amazing, humble, honest, and helpful, educated, ebony, eccentric, empowering. She's a queen, she's a queen. You better treat her like a queen. Oh, Her strength is amazing. Life inside, 9 months she's carrying. Back to work, cause the family she's carrying. Society don't give her just due, but she prevails and stands tall. A champion, a true woman.